At Dexia, during our facilitations, the first day facilitation typically begins to touch on archetypes. Archetypes are what I want to talk about right now. We use archetypes at Dexia as one piece of our facilitation. If you watch the other videos, you've seen how we do facilitation. We've talked about necessary beliefs. We've talked about escape and arrival scenarios. We talk about a lot of the things we use in facilitation to build a complete brand strategy, tactics that plug into that strategy, and then knowledge to move forward about how to market your brand. One of the key components is archetypes. Magical stories that use archetypes make magical marketing. Now, one of the things that we first typically want to talk about, though, when it comes to archetypes, because they lock right into the stories, is basic story structure. And basic story structure goes like this. You have a hero that goes on a journey, that meets a mentor. That mentor gives them a plan, and that plan either works and they succeed, or it doesn't work. This is the way that stories have been formulated for centuries. If you look at anything, Lord of the Rings, you look at Star Wars, you look at any of your favorite movies that you watch at home or TV shows, they all work along these same magical pathways of hero, mentor, plan, success, or failure. This is the way that stories are told, and mainly it's the way that successful stories are told. With archetypes, the archetype is your archetype. The archetype is the business's personality. And to break that story structure down, the hero that's going on the journey is not you. It's not your business. The hero is your customer. You need to position yourself as the mentor to the hero. You're going to give them a plan, and then they're going to succeed because they purchased your product or service. If they don't purchase your product or service, then they're probably going to fail on that journey. And that's the type of positioning that you really need to use when building a story structure around archetypes. What we're really talking about is you being the mentor, and focusing in on you as the mentor needs to have a personality. That personality is called an archetype, and it could be one of 12 archetypes. To talk about archetypes, you really have to bring up, if not briefly, Carl Jung. Carl Jung was a psychologist that worked with Freud. He discovered archetypes. He decided that archetypes were something you were born with. Archetypes are not psychological. They're physical, they're biological, and they've existed for centuries. He named these archetypes. He gave them names like the hero archetype, the innocent. He gave them names like the sage. He gave them names like the outlaw. All of these different names give associations to the archetype of personality, of traits that they have, of traits that are both good traits, traits that are both evil traits, traits that they have so that we can understand them in a fuller way, in a fuller range. You might try to compare it to a stereotype, but what we find about stereotypes is they're often not true, and the more we use them, the less true they become. With archetypes, they are true. And the more we use them, they become even more solidified in our minds of what they truly stand for. And that's exactly what we want to occur within the business mindset. We want an archetype solidified in the beginning so we know exactly what to do going forward. We know how to craft message. We know how to craft language for that message. We know how to craft the visuals that go with the brand, whether it's a logo, whether it's a layout, whatever it might be. To take this a step further, Jung and Rubicon discovered in the early 2000s that brands that embrace archetypes are 12 times the results of brands that don't. Those brands that start an archetype after even being successful for a while increase their results by 12x. Those brands that went away from archetypal models, not knowing who they were within the marketplace, decreased their results by 12 times. Archetypes, they're universal truths. Once you dissect and discover your archetype, you will never look back. And you'll also never be able to look at the world the same way again. If you're interested in the concepts that we put forth today in this video or any other videos that you've watched, please visit dexia.com, click on the little pink button that says schedule, choose a time that works for you, and schedule a 15-minute free strategy session with a Dexia expert. If you want to take it a little further, go to dexia.com/3 keys, and we'd be happy to mail you a 3 keys packet. In that packet, you're going to learn more about the escape and arrival scenarios, the needed beliefs, and how to build a 12-month strategy based on all of these structures we've discussed today.